Hey everyone, welcome back to Coffee with Craner. I'm so excited to have an Amherstburg local on the show, Adam Butcher. He is a local singer, songwriter, 27-year-old country artist out of Amherstburg, has played over 1,000 shows across the region, has the Adam Butcher Band, which I think was formed quite recently, just released a new single, which I love. I have it on repeat. It's on my liked songs on Spotify, so be sure to check it out. We'll talk about it in a second here. But Adam, thanks for joining me, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Lennon. I appreciate it, man.
So, I mean, I've seen you perform. You're fantastic, and
Thank
you
you.
definitely put all your heart into it. And you're coaching people and providing lessons to many people in the area, and really providing that advice to young musicians. And I think today's podcast will talk all about that. Is advice you have for them, how they can get started as a musician, some things maybe you went through along the way. But to get started, before we jump into all the fun stuff, where in Windsor, Essex is your favorite place for coffee?
Favorite place for coffee? Oh, it's tricky because I'm not really much of a coffee drinker.
Okay.
Um, if I had to choose a place, I don't want to answer the wrong answer here because I know that the podcast is Coffee with Craner, and I haven't had coffee with you yet, so I don't know if you have your own
Yeah.
coffee, anyways. But if I had to pick a spot in town right now, it would probably be. I'm a big fan of the new place that just opened up, so Bucket List is really cool.
Okay, deal. I love it. I mean, there's so many good spots in town. There's Bucket List, Gennaro, not Gennaro. Oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank here. Montaneros. I think
Yes,
Gennaro's is in Windsor.
I haven't been there
But
yet.
yeah, it's great. Colombian coffee right at Hotel Story on Murray Street.
Oh, perfect. I'll have to check
Yeah.
that out for sure.
But no, that's cool, man. Now talk to us. How did you fall in love with the music industry?
Honestly, ever since I was a kid, it was like growing up watching my dad play in a band. He played in a local band around the area. It was called the Wheelin' Band, for anybody that might be familiar with it, locally for sure. And I don't know, ever since then, it was like I'd always want to sing along to stuff and maybe go up and sing a song with him on stage. And whenever he'd let me do that, it was like it was the best feeling in the world. So from the very I mean, from his the beginning of time, I guess you could say for me, I was like, I fell in love with music. And then I realized a little bit later on down the road, I'm like, you know what, this is something that I want to pursue full time. And I'm not really going to settle for any other options. Right.
Wow. Wow. And now you've definitely went into it full time. You just released a new single.
Yep.
Tell us about that. Is that your first um, song you've wrote yourself and published, or did you have some
Yeah.
before?
I did have some other songs before. And anybody around the area would probably know about them as well. They were on Spotify, Apple Music, and all those platforms for a little bit. They're still available on YouTube on my YouTube channel. But those songs at the time, it was really to get my foot in the door with writing original music and production and all that kind of stuff. I was working with a great friend of mine. And still like a great mentor of mine to this day is Pete Palazzolo. He did those first two EPs for me, and they turned out great. It was like they all sold out, hard copies, and it really did get my foot in the door. But this production that I just recently put out, Gassed Up, is kind of the my first experience targeting like a specific genre. You know what I mean? Before, my first album that I put out was like bluesy and folky. The second album that I put out was like country, kind of rocky. You know what I mean? This is my first really glimpse of going full on country and putting in the right amount of time, the right amount of effort and money, I guess you could say, into the marketing of that song. And it turned out to be great. I'm actually very proud of it. Not to say that I wasn't proud of the projects before, but this is my first time, being really proud with the release that I've put out. So
It's great. I mean, you already have I think on Spotify at least 17,000 streams
yep,
already.
yeah, which is
And
great for the first couple weeks.
yeah, oh, 100%. And I believe it's went on. Was it some country playlists already? It's like some curated country playlists on
Yes,
Spotify.
That would have been actually for Apple Music. Big shout out to Apple Music over there for actually, taking on an independent artist and adding them to their
Mhm.
country playlists. They added me to their Canada's country playlist, which is sweet. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And they added me to their new and country playlist as well. And it's odd because out of all the platforms, like in terms of streaming, you have this option to kind of pitch your song to them and say, hey guys, this is what I have to offer, in like a 500 character message, and say, hey, if you want to add me to one of your editorial playlists, go for it. For
Mhm.
Apple, you don't really have the option to do that. They kind of just found it and they're like, we're adding it the first day, and here we are.
Wow. I'm gonna pull it up here. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. This is just a clip from your
Oh
Facebook.
yeah, from the Insta.
Yeah.
Let's go down to me, sitting on the real stuff.
Can you hear that?
She don't
Yes, sir.
mind going nowhere fast in this truck. She got me feeling gassed up.
So yeah.
It's great, man. Like it is one of I kid you not, one of my favorite songs to listen to right now.
No,
Uh,
thank you so much, man. That
yeah.
means a lot, honestly. Especially coming from like, I mean, like the younger group, man. I love that. I love that it's like it's reaching out to you guys just as much as like, I don't want to say the older crowd, but I've had a pretty good following around the area, and it's nice to see the younger people come into the mix and enjoy it. So
Yeah. No, that's super cool. And so your dad was in a band, and that was a big inspiration for you.
yeah.
What instrument did he play?
Same as me. So dad was he was the rhythm guitar player and the lead vocalist for the Wheeling band, and then he also played with Getting Back Unplugged a few years later down the road as well. So
Okay.
same thing as me.
And did he teach you a lot of the skills that you've learned?
I think a lot of it was him getting me into it at the beginning, getting me my first guitar and, saying, hey, like, here's some stuff that I know, kind of mess around with it. But I think ultimately he made that decision when I was around, I think 10 or 11. He's like, I want to introduce you to somebody that I think would really, take your career to the next step. And that's where I met Pete. And, right from the very beginning, I'll never forget it. I was a 10-year-old kid and I walk into his studio and he goes, all right, I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer it honestly. It's like, do you want to do this as a hobby or do you want to do this as a career? And at 10 years old, I'm like, career.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I mean, he hooked me up right from the beginning. So, I mean, of course, I'm going to give a huge shout out to Pete for hooking me up. But I mean, my parents for, taking the amount of time and spending the amount of money that they did on lessons and production and that kind of stuff, just to get me going and getting me to where I am today. So I love
Where
them for
were a
that.
lot of the lessons you took? Was it
I
in,
took them at the Canadian Conservatory of Music in Windsor.
okay,
Yep.
awesome. So a lot of guitar, a lot of vocal lessons.
Honestly, it was all guitar. I've never to this day really signed up for vocal lessons. I think the voice was something that really came naturally over the
Wow.
course of the years. Pete would give me the tips of how to do things the right way. I'm not too sure how efficient I am at doing things the right way, but I mean, it's definitely I'm qualified to teach it now. So I teach vocals. So
Good for you.
yeah, man,
It's good when you're gifted and it comes easy, right?
that
Um,
definitely helps. It definitely
yeah,
does.
you don't want to hear me sing. It'll break glass or something. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I might have to call you up next time you come up to one of my shows.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you love most about music? How does it fuel you? Um, you know.
There's so many different aspects to it, but for me, I think the biggest thing is it's um, it's the emotional aspect that comes with it. You know what I mean? You can write about anything, and you can make people feel what you're feeling, and that's the biggest
Mhm,
thing. Is when I'm out and I'm playing in front of hundreds of people, and they're all there having a good time, smiling, dancing, singing along. It's like this is no longer a thing that I'm doing for me. And it never really, there's never really the intentional or like the intention or the purpose, right? I'm doing
mhm,
this so that everybody can enjoy it collectively. And when you have, a couple hundred people in the same room feeling the exact same thing and singing along and doing everything collectively, it's a really powerful thing. And it's just a great thing to be a part of. I think everybody that has been a part of something like that will know what that feeling is like. And when you're the person kind of conducting that, it's a really special feeling.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Do you remember your first performance? What was that? What was that like?
My first like performance in front of a big crowd. I think that would have been back in like, this was in grade 7 when
Okay.
it was in school. I was in school and we did I went to a French school. I went through the French school system, and they hosted like this idol kind of competition, and I would compete against all the other schools in the region. And then at the end there was this big finale where everybody would like show up and do their voting kind of thing. And I did that. I think there had to have been like probably like 400 people at the time. And I sang a French song and took home first place. And that was like the first time where I kind of got a glimpse of playing in front of a ton of people. And I felt like I was going to throw up before going on stage. I know that feeling for sure.
Do you
And
still
yeah,
get
that was my first glimpse of it.
do you still get the jitters? Are you still nervous going up?
Yeah, 100%. And it wouldn't even be like you think. It's a lot of it now is just excitement, and you get those butterflies before going up and playing. Really,
Mhm.
anywhere that I play, I get in my mode, I get in the zone, and I look forward to playing. But when I get most nervous, it's when I know that I've got family around, or I've got family coming to see me. You know, the people that have heard me sing my whole life, they come to my shows, and that's when I start to like, panic a little bit. I'm like, oh God, man, it's like my family's here.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
It's
that's
interesting.
I can see that too. I get the same way for other things in sporting events or whatever it was as a kid, right?
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, so Gassed Up's out.
Yep.
Is there an album on the way?
I wouldn't say
Is
that
it?
there's an album on the way, but we're definitely going to be working towards that. I think my goal this year, and I spoke with Aiden, my producer there. I'm like, I want to be more consistent with my releases. Before, I think I released my first EP back in 2019, and
Mhm.
then I released my second EP maybe 3 years later. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but in the music industry nowadays, it's really important to keep your audience and your viewers and your supporters engaged, right? Like, I don't want to let people wait a year or two now for music to come out. I would really like to put out music more frequently, and that's going to keep not only myself happy and keep me busy, but it's gonna keep everybody else happy as well. So I'm hoping to release probably 2 or 3 more singles this year. That's my goal.
Okay. There's
And
a lot
then
of
maybe next year we'll look into that. Yeah.
there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes
Mhm.
with producing a song. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Yeah, the whole production process, it was cool. It was nice to see the shift from where it was before to where it is now, right?
Mhm.
Back in the day, it was, I'd have an hour to 2 hours of studio time once a week. And it would be like, hey, what do you have for ideas? I wrote this. We come in and we record it. And then we see, what kind of puzzle pieces come together. And that's what you're going to get from these albums that you're looking at on the screen here. But now the whole process is completely different. There's a ton of I've been doing a lot of songwriting sessions with multiple people that are in the industry, whether they're from Nashville, they're from Vancouver, they're more up north in Canada, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And we sit in a room and we take a good 3 to 4 hours to write a song. Sometimes it takes 2 sessions to write a song, right? But I know that when writing that song, it's not just me, and I'm writing with very experienced writers. Once you have the song, then we go to the whole process, which I thought was going to be a little bit longer than it was for this song, but it was actually quite quick because we had artists, that were based out in Nashville. They played on my track. Like, I'll give a shout out to Travis Toy. He's the steel guitar player that played on my song, and he's on tour with Luke Bryan right now. But when you send
Wow.
these tracks out to them and you're like, this is what I'm looking for, can you do this for me? They get back to you almost, sometimes it takes a little bit longer because of how busy they are, but they're like, yep, no problem. We'll get this taken care of for you. We'll record it
Yep.
here in Nashville and we'll send it to you. And
Wow.
you know, you do that with the drummer, you do that with the bass, you do that with the lead guitar, the electric guitar,
Mhm.
the steel guitar, and any other instrument that you're really looking for and looking for someone to play professionally on. And then the producer puts everything together. Once the production is done, you send it out to get it mixed. Once it's mixed, then you send it out to a mastering company or someone to do the mastering. And then there you go. You have your product.
It's born.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It
Is
takes a little bit of time to grow, but eventually it gets there.
is there a lot of, like, I'm looking at some of your the photos for the singles.
Yes.
Is in As a musician, is there a lot of science behind the artwork or the photo that is on a single?
To me, I'd like to think so. I want something that, you know, really catches your eye or looks at least like it's fitting the theme of what you're going for, right?
Mhm.
So obviously, of course, if you look at the cover of Gassed Up, it's literally me at a gas station, like just getting ready to,
Yes.
you know, go crazy. You might not find it on there. I don't know if it's there, but
Yeah.
on Spotify at least, or even on my Facebook or Instagram, you'll find it there.
Yep, right here.
That one right there. Exactly. So, I mean, that says it all right there, you know, and it's really, really cool. I think it fits the theme really well. And, you know, if you're looking for an idea of what the song's about, that might give you a little bit of an idea.
Yeah, yeah. No,
How terrible the gas prices are now. No,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
What 149 I saw in that picture.
Yeah.
Now it's what, 154, 155?
It's going up. It's going up. So
Yeah,
I
you're
might
gonna
have to
look
write
back at
a
that.
Gassed Up Part 2.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna look at that photo 10 years from now and be like, "Wow, can't believe it was $1.49."
I know. I know.
No, that's awesome, man. For aspiring musicians that, let's say they're a country artist like yourself. I mean, you play other types of
Sure.
genres as well, but
Yep.
let's say they're a singer songwriter and they want to produce something. What advice would you give to that individual to really set them up for success, to be in a position to write their first track, release it like you did? Um, because there's a whole business behind what you did to release Gassed Up,
Yep.
and there's steps that you've taken to get to that point. So
Yeah.
just some
100%.
advice you'd share.
I'm gonna start with the songwriting aspect of it. If you're an aspiring songwriter and you want to write songs, eventually, you know, getting them, you know, produced or getting that production aspect of it in the future, um, the most important thing is write. Do not stop writing. I mean, I'm super guilty of this, and I would write every so often, and if I finished a song, I would be like, I hate this song, and then I would just scratch it and I would get rid of it. Right. For every 100 songs that you're going to write, 80% of them are probably not going to be your favorite song. Right. But you know what? All it takes is one or two songs that get you going, that are really, really good, and that you're going to want to keep. Or, I mean, you have ideas from the other 100 songs that you've written, and you can, you know, go back and look at them later, right? So, I mean, the more, I guess you could say, the more content that you have, the better, because you have access to that whenever you want it for as long as you want it, right? And the more you write, the better you're going to get. It's just like playing a sport. You know what I mean? If you go to practice and you practice all the time, you're going to get better at it. It's just the way things go. So for songwriting, whatever you do, write a lot, write by yourself, write with people, and keep whatever you have. Do not get rid of it, because no idea is a bad idea.
And so
Yeah,
they've written that song, um, and how do they take it to that next step? Because there's a lot of people that write songs, but then nothing's produced, right?
right.
How do you navigate through that part?
I would say first decide the direction in which you want to go. So if this song sounds like a pop song, you know, you might want to think about adding, pop kind of features to the song, right? I want synths on it, synthesizers. Geez, I can't even say that right. I want like this to be more like electric based heavy. You know what I mean? I want maybe some 808s in it instead of like an actual bass guitar. You know what I mean? If it's country, you're gonna look at, the steel guitar. It's a great like lap steel bass. everything that you would want in a country song, I guess, right? So first things first is deciding which route you want to go with that song. If you're an artist yourself and you can play all of these things, or you know some musicians, then maybe, look for a local production studio. I could think of, three places off the top of my head that I would request or suggest for people to go take a look at if they're interested in, recording music or putting out any kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And if you're not a singer, but you really like being a songwriter, there's a ton of, people out there that would be, would love to maybe take on a song or take a song pitch is what we call them.
Young pitch. Okay.
And maybe, use it as their own, you know what I mean? You're still
Mhm.
gonna, you can agree on what you want in terms of royalties if you want to put it out, if there are any royalties that you want. And you're gonna get the credit for it no matter what. And that's kind of just the law behind it. Uh, you don't want to write a song that you're really proud of and give it to somebody else and not have any credit
Mhm.
towards it, right? But there's a ton of options for it.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of people that are great musicians, but they just specialize in songwriting, and
Right.
they're making money off of writing songs for some of the top musicians in the country, right?
100%, man.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, we've written with guys that they flat out will say, listen, like, I don't have the best voice. And I'm like, no, but you've got a good enough voice to at least tell me in which direction you think that you want this to go, and to, sit down in a 3-4 hour songwriting session and, write one of the nicest songs I've ever heard in my life. It's like, you've got talent, man. You don't have to be a singer. You don't have to be a musician to be a songwriter. You just
Yeah.
have to have good ideas,
Yes. Absolutely. And what's next for Adam Butcher and the band?
Yeah, the band is awesome, man. I'm super,
That's
super
new to
excited
you,
to be
right?
playing with these guys. It is new, and it's been something that I've been, I guess you could say, lingering on for the past, geez, like 5-6 years now. And it's like, it sounds so bad to say, but I'm very picky with who I play with. I want to play with people that take this as seriously as I do, and want to become a full-time thing, that want to grow together, that want to, start from, ground zero, which is essentially what I'm doing with the band right now. Although I've got, a pretty good reputation locally, and um, everybody comes out to a ton of shows. I book over probably 100 to 125 shows a year,
Wow.
but not often with the band, right? So as of right now, the Adam Butcher band, we're nobody, even though I might be somebody to a lot of people and they might be somebody with their bands to a lot of people. We're nobody. So I wanted people that were okay with that and starting from the very bottom and kind
Mhm.
of working our way up, just like I did with my solo career. But what's next for us is, the more music that I put out, the more credible we're going to be, I guess you could say, as the Adam Butcher band, right?
Yes.
And hopefully play some bigger shows, play some country festivals, play any local festivals. I mean, if anybody that's running, like, whether it's like the town of Amherstburg, the town of Kingsville, LaSalle, Windsor, if you guys are looking for a band, like, I promise you, we will not disappoint. And
Yes.
it's not a cocky thing of me to say. I don't think it's
Yeah.
just it's a confidence thing, and I'm really proud of the people that I'm playing with, and uh, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised if they
Yeah.
don't know
I'm
who
excited.
I am.
I gotta see. I gotta see Gassed Up live and in person, man.
Hey, you can check it out. I'm playing tomorrow, which is, I guess you would say, we'll give the date here. Well, it'll be too late by the time this is out, but
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm playing tomorrow at Shooters. If you want to come out with the band, nice
Oh,
local gig,
awesome.
and I played there 3 weeks ago and it was packed. It was like couldn't
Yeah.
even get a parking spot. So
Good. Good. That's excellent. No, I'm excited to see all the things that you're doing, and very very talented local musician that we have
thank you.
on the show. So I appreciate your time, Adam. And how can people get in touch with you, find out more? Maybe they want to learn from you. Is that an option?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think the best way to go would be to reach out to me. You can either go through my website, which is www.adambutchermusic.com, and or you could reach out to my email, which is also on the website. It's contact@adambutchermusic.com. If you have my business card, it also has my cell phone number on there as well, so you could contact me that way. But everything you need should be found on my website, which is great.
And you have all your show dates. Sweet.
Yes, sir.
Here's the contact section. Just fill out a form and check it out. Look at this handsome man on the front.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's me without my glasses, man. One sec. Let me take these off. I can't see anything right now.
Yeah, that's
It's
him.
a good thing that I memorized how to play the guitar for the most part, because I can't see nothing if I were to play without my glasses. So
awesome, man. Love connecting with you on the podcast. I really appreciate your time and all the great work you're doing for young musicians. And congrats on all the success with the Adam Butcher Band and your new single.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It's an honor.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Visit coffeewithcrainer.com if you want to rewatch the episode. Be sure to catch Adam's next show. Hope to see you soon. Take care.